We're talking eBay, depop, and Etsy too. Latest trends and deals coming right to you. From the greatest Reseller news, get the tips, the tricks, the do's and don'ts to use. From bargains to bids and what's sold high, we're riding the waves, watch the profits fly. Vintage finds on brand new threads. Check the sales reports, what's knocking heads. Shipping hacks and offers, deals galore. You'll be cashing in like never before. From the greatest Reseller news, from cool collections to hot reviews, we're moving stock and smashing goals. Let's watch those treasures turn into.
Okay. Here I am. Sorry, still trying to get used to this new platform. You know, nothing works out right. So please let me know that you can hear me. Would be great. Good morning. And look, I'm assuming this is going to show up. Yes, it does. Yay. Rach says good morning. And we've got Hilly says good morning, GG and everyone. Cool. And Mary Jo, Coppercat. Hello, GG and the rest of the gang. Well, that part works. I kind of think the lighting's a bit bright. I'm looking a little bit bright, I think. But everything else seems to be working okay. And look, I've got the cute little desk in front of me. How cool's that? Finally got that right. Although it's like the proportions aren't fantastic, but hey, what? You know, works. G'day, Joe. Good morning to you. Hilly says he can see me and hear me. Well, that's a bonus, isn't it? Now, what's the sound quality like? Is it okay? Can you hear me okay? Do I need to move my microphone any closer? Or hopefully you can. Oh, let's just put it up a little bit further. Hopefully you can hear me okay. And Joe says, hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Well, here we are at the Reseller News. And look, it's even going the right way. I did the thing last night to do that and then realised that I needed to do a reverse image, like so it looks backwards to me, but so that it'll look forwards to everyone else. So I hope that's reading the right way, is it? So that's the other thing I want to know, probably. Joe says sound quality is good. That's good. See, I tried Evmux was the other one I tried. I'm still working on getting OBS going to do. I'm going to do all my streaming through OBS down the track. But my computer at the moment is not. It hasn't got enough oomph. It's you know it's old. I built it like 12 years ago. I'm going to say roundabout probably, and it's After I'm not looking at you, what you say. Coppercat says sounds great. Sound is perfect. Says Rach, great. Actually, great sound this end. Excellent. Well, that's a bonus, isn't it? Octo says it's backwards, but you know, like, do I believe him? So someone else let me know whether that's backwards or whether it's not. Because, you know, we can't be believing what Octo says. There's John Berg. G'day, John. I made it. I'm live. Everything seems to be working. And even the green screen's okay. It's working, but, you know, look, it could be better because as soon as you move a little bit, it's a bit flickery, but, you know. Oh, hang on. It says, hold on, we're connecting to your channels. I hope I'm still live. Oh, okay. All right. I've just realised what it was doing. So it came up with a chat thing. And I thought I had disconnected, but all it is, I believe, so that I can enable myself to type messages as me, as Grumpy Granny, not as Restream. So this is Restream, which I do think has got the video quality seems to be a lot better. I did a sneaky recording last night to check it, and also the audio quality is way better. Oh no, the word. Yeah. Well, I guess, you know, Rach says it's all good, and I guess I'll find out when I watch the replay, won't I? And the video played okay at the start, so that was a good thing. I did that, and the chat's coming up all right. The only thing I'm not wrapped about at the minute is trying to put up when I try to share a screen. I haven't quite sorted that one out yet because I'm showing up bigger than than what I want to share, whereas in fact I want. I'll show you. Oh, hang on. I haven't got my screen enabled. Do that. So yeah, so I'm showing up bigger, which means, you know, you guys are supposed to be able to see what's on there. Oh, and I do have to go in and hide that so that you can actually see that. But like this should be the other way around. I should be little and that should be that. So I'm not sure. Apparently you can move things around, but I'm... Oh, there we go. Got it. Yay. I was going to say, because I did it last night and then I couldn't work out how to do it again. But now I've worked it out. Can I move that over here? No, maybe not. All right. Well, that won't matter too much. Because I actually do have some, like, news today, which is cool. Hi, Gigi. That octopus is incredible and handsome. Well, yes, in his own mind, I suppose he is. In his own mind. And Hilly's laughing. Yeah, I'd be laughing too. He's no one can say there's anything wrong with his self-esteem, can they? Really? So yes. So I've got a few bits of news. Pardon me, because we haven't done this for a while. And you know, of course. So I got everything set last night. I had all this organized. I had the background loaded. The and yeah, do you like the swirly moving background? That's cool, is it? Do you like that or no? Tell me if you want me to put just a static background. But you know, this was one of the options they give you in here. And got the green screen working and you know everything sorted. And then I set up the schedule. I scheduled the and then he says Minion J on the other hand is useless. I scheduled the live stream for this morning, and then I went to go and get the link. I just copied the link and I was going to put it on Instagram and put it on in the Discord. Well, of course, then my phone goes off and it's my daughter. And she says, "You're about to get hit by a really big storm. You know, you can't..." I'm probably looking sideways. I need to look at the camera so I look like I'm looking at you guys. Yeah, so my daughter says, "Yeah, you're getting a big storm's coming. You need to, you know, go batten down the hatches as such." And so I didn't post the link just in case. So then I went off and I battened down the hatches, moved the car undercover completely, you know, brought the cat inside, did all the, you know, things like put the footrest on the recliner down so that I didn't get stuck when the power went off with my legs up and not able to get off the recliner. You know, lowered the bed head on the bed down so I don't get stuck in a sitting position. All those sorts of things. Yeah, because you keep swapping profiles. You missed nothing. And yeah, so she rang to tell me all that, and I just finished doing that when my son rang, tell me there's a big storm coming, Mum, blah, 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 blah. I said, yep, it's all under control. So did all that. So then I thought, oh, look, I'm still going to post the link, and I posted a picture of the storm. And as it turned out, for me, it was nothing. The storm actually got sort of right to Donald, then went around the other side of the town, like probably the other half of the town might have got a bit of hoo-ha. I got a lot of thunder and lightning, but very little rain or anything. There is a lot of thunderstorm action around this morning, however, but it doesn't seem to be affecting things at the moment. So that's all good. It is all good. All right, let's have a look at some news. This one. So the first bit of news, of course, which is a big bit of news that most people are probably aware of now, that came in was that eBay scrapped fees for private sellers. in the UK, and because they've had to pay fees, we don't pay the listing fee. They had to pay a listing fee, but they've also scrapped the final transaction fees. So that now users only have to pay transaction fees on sale of vehicles. So online retailer eBay has scrapped fees for private sellers across almost all of its categories as it attempts to keep fast-growing rivals such as Depop and Vinted at arm's length. Apparently Vinted is doing huge business over in the UK at the moment. I wish they would bring it out to Australia. And Depop obviously is doing quite well too. The move means eBay's UK sellers no longer have to pay transaction fees except for cars, motorcycles, and other vehicles. In April this year, eBay removed fees for private sellers of pre-owned clothes, and the company said it was now evolving the experience further. Now, my understanding is, and I didn't get, Rach sent me the information, and I didn't get it out, so I'll have to go and find it. But I do believe this, when they're talking private sellers, they're talking people that don't have stores. So it's not actually across the board. Am I right there, Rach? You might be able to tell me that, whether I'm right there. Oh no, it's clothing. It's only clothing, I think, and made a lot of. Oh no, so it is across the board. So it's for everyone. Yep, cool. Just send your Instagram messages. Sounds okay. Oh, so you only just looked at what I sent you last night, of course. Yeah, I think the video and the sound quality is better than what Evmux is. I do have to sort I mean, this is only streaming in 720, which does not quite as clear as having 1080, but that's the film resolution, guys. I think though the level that I'm on only allows me to have the 720, but that's okay. I mean, that's what I was doing on StreamYard up until later days. Rach says, "Oh, I thought it was only clothing." Nice. Okay. So can you just confirm, is it for people, just for people without stores, or is it for everyone? Because you're in the know. I know. You are in the know. All right. So that's one big story, and that's making a big difference because apparently, g'day Jen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Apparently Vinted in the UK is doing huge business, and a lot of people are moving over to that platform. So that's causing issues, I guess, taking business away from eBay. So yeah, and look, presumably that I assume we've only got the one cross-listing tool here in Australia that seems to work. I mean, there's a couple of others, but they cost a lot of money. Crosslist Magic's the one that I use. It doesn't cost a lot, and I could cross-list to Depop and Etsy from eBay, and vice versa. But I presume there's a cross-listing tool that in the UK that's going to allow you to cross-list from, eBay to Vinted and Depop that you can use, hopefully. All right, let's see what else there is. So, it's going to do that again. Okay, I'm going to turn the screen off next time. All right. So I thought this was really good. This kind of is. I mean, at first glance, you might say, oh, there's all these shops closing down. But for me, as an online reseller of clothing, and particularly plus size clothing, this is kind of good news. I mean, that sounds bad, doesn't it? So Mosaic Brands announced it's winding down its Rockman's, Autograph, and W Lane brands. So not just closing the stores, it's closing the brands, okay? And there's a bit more information further down. And closing more than 200 stores. The parent company has announced the brands will close to simplify operations and reduce costs. Basically, they're going to concentrate on some of their other brands. So Australian fashion retailer Mosaic Brands will bring the axe down on 5 of its businesses. and more than 200 stores to simplify operations and reduce costs. All stores and websites, so you won't even be able to buy online, for Rockman's, Autograph, W Lane, Crossroads, and Be Me are considered marginal. Well, thanks, guys, for making me marginal because I'm a plus size buyer, and non-core. I'm also non-core and will be wound down. So obviously they don't think they're making enough money in those areas, so they're going to close them down. So Rockman's, Autograph, and W Lane have a combined 231 stores according to their 2023 annual report. Be Me Brands and Crossroads are pure play digital brands. Be Me used to be stores and so did Crossroads, but they've been online for a while. Mosaic Chief Executive Erica Birchtold said the move to rationalise its brand portfolio will simplify the business and allow it to focus on 5 core growth brands. And this I found really interesting. Given some of the stores they're keeping, or the brands they're keeping and the brands they're getting rid of, I actually did find that really interesting. So they're keeping Miller's, Noni B, Rivers, Katie's, and its standalone online Mosaic marketplace. So yeah, I found that one really interesting because some of those stores I would have thought would have been the ones that were going to go, but apparently not. So what do you say? Rach says, oh, okay, so now it's all changed again. It was just private sellers. Then Vinted Pro, business sellers, went live the next day. So then eBay responded by removing fees for business sellers for clothes. Ooh, good. Well, that's good. The definition of a private seller is someone who is selling their own pre-used items. They don't have to submit their earnings to the taxman. Business sellers have to have a store and they have to pay tax on their earnings. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought because generally when they do something like that, they'll do it for people that haven't got stores. Octo says, stop selling clothes, sell beach by side property or fly spray instead. Yeah, I need that at the moment. All of that at the moment. Yeah, so I found this whole thing with Autograph very interesting. So what's everybody else doing? I mean, on the plus side, for bonus for me is that I already sell a lot of Rockmans. I sell a bit of Rockmans, but I already sell a fair whack of Autograph clothes because I do concentrate on plus sizes. And, I do pick up a bit of W Lane as well. And Be Me is another brand that I sell. So I was thinking, well, if they're not only the fact that they're closing the stores, but those brands are no longer going to be available, which is going to mean that as time goes on, they're going to become shorter and shorter supply, which means better for us as online resellers. So I thought that I'd bring that because they're brands we should be perhaps looking out for, those of us that are selling clothes. And I certainly will be, and probably even, some people think of Rockman's as a more basic brand, but their stuff's quite okay. And I mean, it's a good bread and butter brand for me. So I kind of feel like, there's no reason. Now's the time to, start selling it, I guess. Unwanted but needed, little Kookaburra. Hi all. Good morning to you. I'm up and running again. Just working my way around. How to use this new platform that I'm using to stream. Rach says, so now there are no fees until the end of the year on pre-love clothes for anyone. Excellent. That's good. Joe says, the quality on those brands got so bad a couple of years back, I gave up on them. Yeah, I probably, because I sort of tend to go vintage anyway, so probably the stuff that I've been picking up and selling is the older stuff. So I guess that's why it's been working for me, Joe. As in buying for myself. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I don't buy new. Rarely. I mean, look, I used to buy fair bit of Autograph for myself new, but I'd only buy what was on sale. So I was getting like at the end of the season when they would put it all down to really cheap, like $10, $15, and you could pick up heaps of stuff. So yeah, I rarely bought anything new that was in season. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see because, well, I think, I mean, I don't know. Autograph has sort of been a bit of the go-to for plus size people quite often. I mean, I think one of the mistakes, honestly, that they made was having lots of their stores, multiple stores in the one shopping plaza. Now, shouldn't say my local, my closest shopping centre is an hour's drive. And it's a small city, so it's Horsham, if anyone knows it. But, there's probably 5, 10. There's a Kmart, and then there's probably maybe 20 shops in that shopping plaza. In that shopping plaza, they had Autograph, Rockman's, at one stage Crossroads as well, and Katie's. Like, why not have combined them all into one bigger store, but have everything in there? I mean, they could have saved a lot of money doing that. Joe says, I remember 10 years ago the quality was good. Yes, and they'd run good sales, so that's when I'd stock up. Exactly, Joe. I agree. Remember when Autograph as 1626? Yes, I love 1626. And I do pick up with the occasional 1626. Not very often, but it's nice when I do. Jeans were good. 1626 jeans were good. All right. Let's see if this will just automatically swap over. So that's that story. Right. Go to that. Yes, it has. All right. Good. It's a good story, isn't it? So this is The Future of Fashion is Calling. A lot of you may have already heard this if you read your eBay news that shows up at the bottom of your Seller Hub. But the Circular Fashion Fund is back, and for the first time is a global effort. In partnership with the Australian Fashion Council, we're dedicated to fostering fashion's circular economy. So basically, the whole idea is to have clothes being recycled, especially good clothes, and get them recycled and passed on to new users after someone's finished. So we're providing opportunities for businesses that bring innovative, I can't even say that word for some reason, technology and services to make us change shopping habits and think differently about circular fashion. So they're looking for people that have got ideas to market their, you know, secondhand clothes, basically, that'll make it where people that wouldn't normally buy that stuff, that they will. The winner of each market will go on to pitch to members of the eBay leadership team to have a chance of winning the eBay Circular Fashion Innovator of the Year. So I can say that. What can I say? The other one. And an additional investment of up to 300K USD. Well, that's not great for us, is it, if it's US dollars? Because, it'll be less over here. For nearly 3 decades, eBay has supported the circular economy, serving as a pioneering destination for enthusiasts to unearth in-demand, hard-to-find, pre-loved fashion and luxury items. We continue to explore new ways to help brands, businesses, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, so there's a whole big spiel on that, and you can actually find that on in your Seller Hub if you're interested in that, if you've got a great idea. Right. Just got to close that one as well. The other store businesses that are closing as well are Sass and Bide. I mean, they're not closing, but they're going to shut 10 standalone stores nationwide. So, make that text a bit bigger. Let's see. Find the right tool. That's better. Fashion label Sass and Bide is set to shut 10 stores across the country with multiple jobs to be cut. From October 6th, the designer brand will continue to operate at Harbour Town and James Street in Queensland, South Wharf, they can't spell Wharf, can they? In Victoria and in Western Australia. I can't believe, I guess because they've got a capital letter that the spell check didn't pick it up. Stores will close at Bondi, Miranda, Chadstone, and Paddington in New South Wales. Chadstone's in Victoria, dummy. Or is this a Chadstone in New South Wales as well? Doncaster and Emporium in Victoria. Rundle Street in South Australia. Carryup in West Australia. Canberra and Newmarket in New Zealand. So, CEO Paula McKenzie acknowledged staff would be affected at the locations. We will be offering all available support to them and will offer redeployment where possible for our store team members. These decisions are not taken lightly, but they are necessary to ensure business is repositioned for growth and is sustainable into the future. So, yeah, that's another one. Oh, I've got some good news, though, for people that sell in the music category. Got to have some good news, haven't we? So apparently 80s Australian music CDs are selling for hundreds of dollars to collectors. And if Lee was in here, she would be able to tell us, yes, that's true. So it's still a bit small, but we'll go a little bit bigger, hopefully. Yeah. Music store owner, and this guy's from Hobart, but I guess, I would think if it's happening in Tasmania, it's happening in other places too. Andrew McNeese says CDs are experiencing a resurgence as collectors seek out rare CDs, including 80s Australian music by artists such as Richard Clapton and John Paul Young. A lot of the early Australian pressings on CD are super rare, Mr. McNeese tells Joe Reinberger on Tasmania Afternoons. If they were pressed once on CD and only once, then that's all that is out there, and quite likely all that will ever be out there, he says. So I guess keep your eye out for 80s Australian music. So that was pretty cool. Where are we? Roman, hello. Welcome to Australian Breaking Reseller News Network. I am your host, Disgruntled Koala. Yeah, good one. Good one. Nobody understands my Australian accent except wild kangaroos. Yeah. Kind of don't think you have an Australian accent, Roman. Just saying. Octo told me I need to stop buying media and books in Australia to avoid competition. Oh, yeah. Well, Octo keeps saying that he doesn't sell many books and doesn't like selling books, but you watch every week when he does his what's sold things, and generally in the podcast, he will mention some books he sold. So, yeah, it's a bit of a, foobar, that one. I do think that. Roman thinks that's funny. I think it's funny. Well, yeah, it's true though, isn't it? And look, talk about clickbait. I do have to say, good clickbait. I got bitten by a redback spider on the thumbnail, and then mentions it for 3 seconds at the start of the video, and then it's all it is. Yeah, I think he has fallen asleep. Actually, he might have. It generally does by halftime, and it is about half. It's almost halftime during the stream, so yeah, generally does fall asleep. So, how's everybody's sales going this week? I feel that things have picked up this last week. Well, they have for me, most certainly. I'm finding my sales have gotten better. Now, that could also be because, why is there a strange line? Oh, it's the cord off my headset, which I didn't put around the back. It's all tangled up with my microphone cord, so I can't. I'll just have to leave it there, I guess. Yeah, I'm finding my sales have picked up. I seem to be selling. Well, I can't. It's hard to say. I mean, I've been selling a lot of clothes as well as a lot of. I'll just open up a new window and bring up my spreadsheet on the other screen so I can tell you. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of clothes, but then I've also been doing a lot of books. So I can't say which one's doing better than the other, except I'll have a look at a minute and tell you. Joey says definitely picked up. Good. Good. Roman says, my sales picked up the last couple of days. Well, it's good. Rach says hers have picked up too. Good. Roman says, eBay finally fixed all the glitches and said that more glitches are coming. Yeah, typical, isn't it? It's just so annoying because I sometimes think that what they do is when they are doing major fixes on the platform, they throttle the business, they throttle the, traffic down to alleviate any issues for when they're doing stuff. And then it's only when they just release it all again that we start getting back to normal. It's just, it's ridiculous. But that's what happens. What am I looking for? Google Sheets. That's what I'm looking for. So I keep particular figures. Oops. And I have it tell me different things. So, yeah, so 54% of my sales in October have been from books, but that's not including the variation listings. So I decided to separate the variation listings out so that I can compare to see how they are going. Roman says, does what not already work in Australia or not? Yeah, not. I'm waiting. I think I'd really enjoy doing whatnot, but yeah, I'm still waiting for that. It hasn't happened. And I doubt that it will happen. 15% of my sales have been from the variation listings. Now, given that the average price of an item in the variation listings is probably $7, 15% is pretty good. 6% has been jeans. 2% men's clothing. The one area that has definitely picked up, I've found, has been women's clothing, mainly tops. So 18% from that. 2% has been from VHS. I sold some sealed VHS, which actually put me right up there in the category of sellers that sell new VHS on the listing quality report. I'm like right up there in 30 something I am. So yeah. So that's been, I'll be interested to see. So something's not working right in my sheet that I do have to sort out because I also have sold some, sold a purse, leather, which will be in the leather bags and stuff. Roman, Granny said she'll move to the USA because Australia doesn't have it. Yeah, I wish. Doesn't have whatnot. Yeah, it'd be cool. I just think it'd be so good. I think it'd be really cool. And you could get rid of stuff really, really quickly. Like, as in, get 20 items and sell them all in one hit. Be great. Really good, especially with the older stock that you're perhaps thinking about that you want to get rid of. I think that it would be a really good way of doing it. I mean, not everybody would want to do it, but then there's a lot of people that do it, I understand, that don't even show their faces. Like, they do it like people can do a faceless YouTube video. So, yeah, interesting. If I smudged my lipstick, smudged. I think it has. It did. It did. Fun tissue now to wipe myself. I can't have my lipstick going astray, can I? Terrible thing. Terrible thing. So what else is news? What else is news? Well, yeah, apart from trying to sort out how I was going to keep doing my streaming. So originally I was going to use this program you put on your computer called OBS, and it's fantastic, and you can, tweak things really well on it. So I think in the long run, it will be great. I'm still working on it. However, and it would be okay just to do, I guess, normal streaming like this. I could do that. But if I wanted to have a guest on or do like the 15-minute fix, which that went astray, that went awry on yesterday evening. My apologies for that. But yeah, we had a few technical issues working it out. We were there ready to go, but we had some technical issues, so didn't happen. But we might do that over on John's channel too, once we get that sorted, just so that he can get his channel up and running, I thought. But yeah, or take it in turns, or we might be able to stream it to both channels at the same time. That'll be interesting. That is a feature I can do. I know that I can do that here. So it is a feature that they offer here, which is good. I think I can have up to 6 people, like send it out to 6 people's channels if they wanted to all be in here as well. So that's, yeah, an interesting take on it. Yeah, so I haven't looked to see how StreamYard's going and whether they're rethinking whether they're rethinking their thought on instantly doubling. Like there were posts on Reddit, there were posts on Facebook, there were people talking about it in live streams, and I just think it was such a ridiculous move, and it has to have caused a big cut in their business, because people have now gone and looked at other opportunities. And even in my own immediate circle, I know so many people that have gone and moved to different platforms. I've sort of been taking note with the law tubers, because do watch a bit of true crime, and following a couple of really interesting trials at the moment. Yeah, there's some that are obviously still using it, because you can tell by how the messages are presented and how their screen layouts are, what they're actually using. So I've sort of been looking at some of those. There are a couple I've noticed that have changed, and they're obviously using OBS and either connecting. You can use this platform with OBS, or you can sort of do OBS on its own, directly with YouTube. So there are a couple doing that, and I mean, there was one in particular that was using OBS. Has been since I've started following them. So yeah, that's she hasn't changed, but there's a couple of others that have changed, but then there's others that haven't. I guess maybe they make enough money off YouTube that they're not bothered, and they'll just keep using it, because I mean, it does, you know, once you get used to it, it's easy to set up, and it's sort of like a set and forget for a lot of people, because you can have your particular backgrounds. I mean, for me, possibly a little bit different, because I've got to have my different screens for the different things that I do. Like, I don't have this screen when I'm doing a tutorial, for example. I have something else, like the school background. And so, but if you're using the same background all the time and just going on and showing, streaming of court cases and stuff, it's probably a little bit different, and they don't need to worry. So yes. OCTO'S here, watch out. Just playing catch up. Yeah. So I did a new kids story on my Let's Read Granny channel, if you want to go over there and check that out. And it is Granny and Octo Go and visit the haunted house. And Octo's a bit worried, because he thinks the pumpkins might get him, because they were all moving. And, Grumpy Granny had to explain to him that it's okay, Octo, you'll be okay. It's just a trick, because it's Halloween. Just like you like to play tricks on other people, Halloween plays tricks on you. And so he went around all the different rooms in the haunted house, and then at the end, Octo does a little bit of a dance to a new song. Well, actually, it's not a new song. It's a song I used in an earlier video, but a different version of it, because when the website, the AI that I use to create the songs, when you do it, it creates 2 options, and I hadn't used the other option, so I did use it in that video. And it seems to be doing all right. Obviously, the 3 videos of mine on Let's Read Granny at the moment that are doing the best are all Halloween stories. So obviously, Halloween's a big thing at the moment, and people are searching for their kids, or the kids are searching for Halloween stories. So get your Halloween stuff sorted and get it up listed on eBay. All your spooky, scary stuff. And yeah, so I mean, book wise, I don't think. Let me have a look. I don't think there's been anything I could say that's been particularly. Well, there's been a couple of spooky, scary things, but I wouldn't say they were particularly Halloween-ish. So I did sell a book called Medical Block Buchenwald, which was World War II book, um, from just after the World War II era, and it was about one of the prison camps. So yeah, it was quite interesting. Oh, I did sell Trixie Belden, The Mysterious Visitor. I guess that could be classed as thing. Seasonal wise, though, I did sell a trout fishing book. Now, Roman says, Octo said that no matter what happens, he'll still be the best reseller in Australia. I'm sure he did. That's exactly what he would have said. Yep, exactly what he would have said. So on one of the recent, will I say recent? On one of the recent book clubs that we did, workshops that we did, and we talked about why sometimes some books become more popular. All of a sudden, people are collecting pans, or why do books become more popular? And I did show this particular book that I had listed, and I did say I had listed it because it was coming up to spring, and often books for outdoor activities like fishing and sport will actually start selling better when the weather starts warming up. That's what I find anyway. And I think people then, once you get that first hit of a few warm days, people will start looking, you know, oh, it's nearly spring, and that they might start looking for something like that. So yeah, that was a good little sale. Rach says, just sold something, and for some reason I didn't add the SKU number. So now I have to search through all my items for it. Oh no. Sorry, Rach. That's all I can say. It's not fun. Not fun. Skewing is the best thing ever that you can do, honestly. And I've had my times where I couldn't find something. And yeah, I like even this week I did on Monday. I wasn't thinking clearly for some reason. And was it Monday? It was Monday or Tuesday anyway, it doesn't matter. And I went to get this book, and the SKU number was there, and I went to get it off the shelf, and it said bookcase B, but for some reason I was thinking the book was bigger. I was picturing it to be a bigger book than what it actually was. And so when I looked at it, my mind automatically went to bookcase C, which is where all the bigger books are. And so I went there and went to the shelf number and the row number and looked, no book. And then for some reason I thought, oh, maybe I put the bookcase number in. So I turned to the next shelving unit, which was bookcase A, and looked on it, and it wasn't there either. And I went, and I did that, FML. But I said the full thing out loud. And then I looked down again at my phone, and I went, oh my God. So yeah, it was bookcase B. Like it said it clearly there, bookcase B. And so when I went over to bookcase B, shelf 3, row 5, and I still remember because I had looked at it so many times, there was the book. And it was an interesting sale, actually. So it was a book on sports coaching, and it was written by a local, well, he's not local to here anymore, but he used to be a school teacher here in Donald, and he was like the PE teacher. And when he left here, he went and got involved in AFL football coaching and stuff like that. And he wrote this book about it. And this particular book he had signed because he had sold it to friends of his, or given it to friends of his as a gift. and had inscribed it and signed it. And so someone had bought it for, it was a good sale actually, that one. Where is it? Can't be that. Oh yeah, Any Given Team it was called. Sold it for $58.87 because I sort of put the price up because no one else had it, and I put the price up anyway and saying that it was signed by the author. But the interesting thing was that the person that I sent it to was also a former resident of Donald. So, interesting that they, decided to buy that particular book. Yeah, Rach. I can't say anything else but that. That's sad. I'm feeling for you. I'm feeling for you. So I went and did my first sort of major sourcing trip since probably March when I fell ill. And ever since then, well, I was already working on my death pile then. And ever since then, I didn't go out sourcing. I mean, I did a couple of small little, 5 or 6 things maybe at the most. But I did a major sourcing trip on Thursday and travelled 2 hours to go to kind of a private pick. I am making a video on it. I've got video of it. A cross between going to a thrift store and a private pick. So they opened the store for me. So that was good. And it was great. I got quite a bit of stuff. This particular place sells all their clothing for $2 a piece. And most stuff in the store is like $2. And also their books are generally, the adult books are generally $1, and the kids' books are generally $5 for $1. Now, the kids' books still were $5 for $1, but they were having a sale on the adult books, $3 for $1. So I will say though, like in the past, back before I'd sort of got a bit more mindful of the type of things I was picking up, I probably would have come home with twice as much stuff because at that price, I would have just kept going and going and going. But I didn't. I got what the sort of stuff that I needed to get and didn't buy stuff that I know doesn't sell quickly or very well. I did come home with some really good, cool kids' books, I have to say. And so I have already sold 4 items that I listed from Thursday. So that is excellent. So I sold an Ishka kimono within 24 hours of listing it for full price, which was pretty cool. It wasn't, unfortunately, if it had been a silk one, I would have got a good money for it, but it was only a viscose one. So I sold it for $24.77 plus post. In that same, so that was the last piece when I sold it yesterday. That was the last, at that stage, that was the last item of clothing that I'd listed, right? The most recent one. I also sold my oldest piece of clothing that I have in my store, and it was on the rack, and the number was CRA, which was clothing rack A 001. Who says you can't keep selling clothes? So so I sold that too. So that was good. And I sold a pair of Cherry Lane pants as well. So the pants and the old item together scored me $52.09, and then added on to that, so that's what's at $76 for one person bought all that. And then I sold the big book of animal stories. I could bring all this up on the screen, but I'm not going to because I'm still getting used to this platform and just not quite need to get all that organized. So I did sell that for I listed it for $29.77, and then the next day I got an offer for $25, so I did accept that, and Sold it and posted it that day. Rach says, I have had a One Direction top for sale for 18 months, which is just this minute sold due to Liam's pass. Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, I've got a bit of One Direction stuff here too that I've never listed yet. They all belong to my daughter. I should have already had those books up, I suppose. Very sad. Big King Picker, hello, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am using Restream to do my live stream today. So it's taken me a little bit I had to do a bit of testing. And it's really hard because there's all these different places that you can do the streaming from. But you don't want to be signing up and paying for each one if they're not going to be good. And I was nearly signing on the dotted line and paying money for Evmux, but thankfully I waited until we had done the podcast episode so that I could actually look at the quality of the video, and then I also you could do a limited amount of stuff with it beforehand. So I did do a test run, recorded a video on there, and the sound quality was dreadful. So I wasn't happy with it. So Restream, on the other hand, I could do a live stream to test it, but I couldn't actually do a private recording that I could just do and record it on my computer to test it, which was a pain in the bum because I didn't want to pay the money for the, membership if it wasn't going to be any good. So I did a private live stream and that nobody else could see unless I give them the link just to test it. And yeah, it worked pretty good, I thought. And the quality, sound quality. Sound quality for me is probably the most important thing. And I know that I should probably talk more in my, book reading voice because it's nicer for people. Rach says it's awful to think that way, but people do buy memorabilia when celebs die. Yes, they do. Indeed, they do. Because a lot of people have issues listening to voices that aren't very good, different tones and things. And I think it's good to make sure you've got good sound quality. Like you listen back to, if you're ever going to do YouTube, make a video and watch it back and make sure you sound okay. So it might look like the video might be good and everything might be working, but if it sounds dreadful, it will put people off. Sandra, hello, hello, hello. Driving home, listening while I drive. Good. Stay on the road. Recommerce Dave, good morning to you. Hi, Gigi and everyone. How are you this morning, Dave? Hope everything's going well. And we have Christian. What's up, Gigi in chat? Well, your morning tea, Christian? Oh, no, it's lunchtime, I suppose, nearly, isn't it? I keep forgetting that I started that little bit later this morning. And there's a method to my madness in that because, yes, good, do that, please. Because I just thought, if something goes wrong and as I'm trying to set it up and I'm running late, it won't bode well. Everybody will go away and think I'm not doing it because the power got knocked out or something. So I thought the best thing to do would be to start half an hour later so I had a little bit more time to make sure I had everything organised. So, yeah. And I will be even more organised again next week now that I've had a practice run. Forest Finds Online. Christian says, hope you're well. I am very well, thank you. Back to normal. All's good in the world, which is good. Although I do have to say, my nose is getting a little bit snuffy, but it's not a cold or anything like that. It's a cross between hay fever and thunderstorms causing that one. And it just, yeah. Rach says, I think your sound always sounds good. Oh, thank you. I mean, I do a softer voice when I'm reading. I did notice, I have noticed though, the last few days, because I was working on a couple of books that I was reading, and I tend to do a bit of especially with the kids' books, if they're rhyming, I tend to get a bit sing-songy in the way that I talk when I'm reading the books. And I did notice in my normal conversation without realising it, and didn't realise till after I'd said things that I'd used that same tone, like where you lift at the end of the sentence, to, make it sound all happy and cheery. And, yeah. So I have to stop that. No one will think they sound okay when they listen back. Of course not. Just make videos anyway. So yeah, that's how I would do that. So yes, exactly. Just make videos anyway. Octo will never watch his back and listen to it. And like I could have said to him the video quality. So his video quality as the host was okay on FMux, but I looked dreadful in the podcast. I don't know what anybody else thought, but I thought I looked dreadful and sounded dreadful. And he won't watch it because he won't want to listen to his own voice. You need to get over yourself on that. My watch keeps vibrating to tell me that giving me a notification. And the notification is that it's on low battery and I need to charge it. Dave says, doing well. So is this the streaming software you'll be using or are you still trialing different products? So I'm going to be using this for a while. So this is Restream and everything seems to be working good. Hopefully, I'll have to wait until I actually watch. Of course, I'll watch the replay back to see what I think myself. But everything does seem to be working okay, and it does everything that I need it to do. In the long term, I want to use OBS, but my computer's just not up to it. It can do some stuff, and then when I try to add in more things, it's too much because it's an old computer. I built it like 12 years ago, so Anyway, so I started looking for a graphics card. I was going to help it out by putting a graphics card in it because it's only using onboard graphics. So its graphic capability is not fantastic. But it's a nightmare because the motherboard's so old, getting that one. And I could probably, there's plenty out there, but if I buy it, will it actually work, And anyway. So I do have a friend that is possibly may have a lead on a computer for me that I'll be able to get quite cheaply. That isn't new, but certainly a lot newer than mine. So it's probably going to be 10 years. 9 or 10 years newer than mine. And I can't, so I'm on Windows 10. I can't go any higher than that because the hardware's not, sufficient. Anyway, so at some stage I'm going to have to update the computer. I knew that because sooner or later the software and different software, and it's like everything's working on this at the moment the way it is, but Photoshop doesn't work very well because it just hasn't got the resources for that. Me even. You should come on, Rach. Bax says, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, Bax. I hope you're having a good day. Dave says, the colour balance might need adjusting. Yes, I do. I'm not sure whether it's my light over there or whether I just need to reduce that a little bit or change the tone or whether there's something in here that I need to fart ass with. So, yeah. That's another thing. And during the week, this will give me a chance now that I've got it all connected up because you can actually run OBS through this, which I'm not doing at the moment. I'm just using their platform. So I might actually even have a go at running OBS through this and see how that goes. Because that might be okay for when I'm just streaming by myself. Because what was happening, I found with OBS was it's okay if I sat here and talked, it was okay. But the minute I tried to add in an extra screen or show a slideshow of photos or anything like that, that's when I ran into strife. And that's a lot of what I need to do. So I needed to have something that was going to work. So yeah. Back says, yep, good so far. Reasonable sales. Just got back from the post office. Good, good, good. I haven't looked yet. I try not to look while I'm streaming and hope that I get a couple of sales while I'm streaming. I had one overnight. Someone bought a vinyl record. And I was thinking, yay! Because I had it listed for a while, and then 5 seconds later you get a cancellation. Delivery wrong delivery address. I just froze a little bit then. Look, I won't say anything about that. That could possibly be from the weather, because the weather's very stormy here at the moment. So, who knows? Who knows? Well, thank you for joining me this morning, boys and girls. That is it for me. And I hope you all have good sales this week. I have a couple of videos that I am going to, now that this is going and will make things easier for me, I will be getting those organised for you and get them out, and so that you can enjoy them. And yes, I'm not sure this week. It'll depend. I'm not sure. I'm working in the background at getting my other channel going, my Grumpy Granny's Gruesome World going, where I'm going to tell some terrible stories. Yes, which should be a bit of fun. So, and something completely different. So it'll be good. Good to see you are up and running again. Thanks, Gigi. Oh, look, we've got a visitor. Hello, Simba. What are you wanting? Some food, probably. Yes. Of course, she thinks she owns the chair. She's not happy about the green screen being in her way. And I can hear lots of thunder in the background. So probably a good time for me to sign off. And let me just see if I can work out how to turn it off. What's Joe says? Joe says that stormy weather will probably reach us in the next hour or two. Yeah, there's been an increase in thunder activity. I'm not sure about lightning, but thunder activity the last 5 minutes, I'm going to say. Dave says, you need to set up a GoFundMe account for the new PC. Yeah, exactly. That would be good. That would be good. Or, it'd be good if I earned more money off YouTube, that I could have enough money to buy one. I'm expecting a decent payout, though. It says I should get it between the 21st and the 25th. So, yeah, it's not a bad payout this month. See you backs. Let me see if I can work